Lester's originally from northern Cape Breton in a place called Aspy Bay, and I grew up in Sydney. We met while I was at St. X. He happened to come and visit his sister, and we were at a function that we noticed each other, but I didn't see him after that because he did not attend St. X, and he was attending another university. And when I moved to Halifax, I ran into him again, and the rest is history, as they say. So he was a quiet man. He was devoted to his children and his family. He loved northern Cape Breton. He would hike. I used to say to him, he'd say, I'm going home now to hike, and he'd head off to Cape Breton. I didn't always go with him because I wasn't exactly a hiker. And I said, well, I never know, like you hike and you love the woods in Cape Breton. The same as the woods here. He goes, no, they're not. Hospice was just new. It was just opening, and you heard a lot with fundraising, etc. But you don't really start to concentrate on hospice until something introduces itself to you. And unfortunately, it was my husband being diagnosed with cancer. But I didn't know what to expect from hospice. I know in reflection that they are to keep the individual, their goal was to keep the individual comfortable, family, full access, and social worker on staff that if you felt you needed to talk, doctors available, nurses available. And that's just, it was overwhelming because I can't say enough good honestly about here. I can't. But the biggest thing that impressed him was cookies. They said, we'll make your favorite cookies, and they did. In fact, the nurses kind of dubbed him a name, the Cookie Monster. So you were always attended to. You were never left in that room for any more than, I think, probably a half an hour before someone popped their head in and see if everything was okay or if you needed anything, and you always available to talk when you wanted to. That's probably one of the things that impressed me a lot too, was coming in to check on my husband to see how is he doing, and they always had a light heart about them, joking with him because he loved to laugh, and they joked with him. But they also took the time to actually, and when you ask somebody how you're doing, I don't know in your life, but sometimes when people ask you how you're doing, they're walking by, not quite waiting for the answer. The staff here waited for the answer, and they genuinely wanted to know how you were doing. It was important to them because they treat not just the individual that is a resident at hospice, the big picture is the entire family, and that's what was their focus with us. He used to say, it is what it is. It will be what it will be, but it's not taken a minute from me. And that's how he lived through this. He actually lived through this. I worried. I was sad. He didn't ever talk about it. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But it saw him through to the end. He didn't waste any time just sitting around saying, poor me. And I didn't either, because I felt I got a lot of strength from him in the sense that if this man who's got a terminal diagnosis can present each day and look forward to each day, well, then I can too. And that's what we did. I guess I can sum it up the best way in my heart is that the staff enabled us to enjoy a quality of time with my husband's last few days. Also, when he passed, I felt as close as I could in saying this, that they took us to the veranda of heaven and allowed us to say goodbye, and then took us back home. So if you find it in your hearts, this is also a facility that asks no money of you. You come through the door, you're cared for as if you were paying $1 million. If you can find it in your heart to, on this Giving Tuesday, to make a donation to the hospices, Hospice Halifax, and this would allow other families to have the experience, a very positive experience in allowing their loved one to go, and that you're supported and you feel the connection always. As they said, you are part of the hospice family. Please visit hospicehalifax.ca. hospicehampton.ca.